Wave Master asked the other day, like, what's the point in lyricism? What's the point? The point is that nobody can do what I do. Fuck it, let's go. The first person on earth cursed with my secrets, only to regurgitate my work like you were secrets that hurt. But I was never concerned with the lesson. We were immortal, so I was never concerned with the blessing. I called mom like your daughter was gone. She wasn't shocked, like I just stepped off the plane. Let me get a hold of your pops and stop. How does she have control of this devil? Wait, I'm reporting. Guess the apple ain't far from the kennel, so now it's just paperwork. Logistics in Philly, identifying the body, recovering all her property, seeing if the mortician perm forcey hair properly. Wait, that part is where it got to me. Fucking where is monotony? This shit is just dumb. Called your phone 20 times saying pick up just once, but it was done. You already took your last breath, so now a picture on the wall, so all that's left. Let's go.
It's the hope of every father that
Joaquin, you gotta remember,
their son can do better than they
we'll
ever
always be
did.
family, and nothing will ever change
My
that.
mom told me a long time, look after my sister. Joaquin,
I love you.
look after yours.
I love the two of you.
DJ Unique.
Let's cut to the punch. Time for the sequel. They only been here for months. Shit. And I thought it would only be once. Children, I gotta thank God that we live in DR. Period.
By the way, what does redacted mean?
Welcome back to Redacted Media. We bring you the content as long as you mind your business.
Goddamn business.
Mind your goddamn business. Y'all are new. Y'all are old. Like, subscribe, hit all those buttons. Help the algorithms out. You know, they need their pittance. Is that like what you call?
Yeah, absolutely. gotta please Daddy Algo.
Yeah, Daddy Algo. Oh man,
Ugh.
Whew. That's just.
Didn't feel good about that one.
It's just gross.
Yeah,
I'm not happy about it, but
Yeah,
we are.
redact that.
Yeah. Scratch that.
Yeah.
We're back with another breakdown of the Dark Tower. We're still on book 5, The Wolves of the Calla.
Yeah.
Is it The Wolves of the Calla? Just Wolves of the Calla.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, last week we finished. I don't even remember what the section was, but last week we finished section
Yes.
2,
Yes. If you can't tell by our thumbnail,
and now we're on section 3.
it might have been yesterday. It might have been last week, but no longer than that. So
Yeah.
don't look at YouTube. YouTube's
Yeah.
time stamps are wrong.
The metadata is weird. Like, it's glitched.
Whenever you put out such high quality content, they have to space it out so it looks like an actual person could do this, right?
Yeah, it takes a while. It took a while for it to process. We uploaded it
Yeah.
a long time ago, and it's just now coming out to you.
Yes. So don't worry about how long it's been or how long it will be. Okay.
Yeah, time's fake.
But anyways, we are starting on chapter 1, Secrets, which is technically part 3, The Wolves of the Calla, which is book 5 of a 7-book series, with an extra 8 one that we might read.
Hell yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
And last time, what the fuck did we talk about? I feel like it was a big Callahan.
Yeah, I think
Episode.
last time where we finished, last week we finished Callahan's like backstory.
Yep.
Got to learn all about everything that happened to him before he made his way to this world.
Yes.
Found out about him getting the Black 13,
Yep.
and then he and Roland went and visited the cave with the door in it.
Yeah, and it yells at you a little bit. Makes you
little bit,
sad.
yeah.
So, our chapter 1, Secrets. Do you have a mini breakdown for
I've
us?
got our summary.
Yeah, summary.
Roland sleeps until noon the next day, and after taking time to piss with Jesus, finds Callahan. He tells Callahan of Susanna and the baby, fearing that it will kill her and break the tet. When Roland suggests an abortion, Callahan reminds us that he is Catholic and flips the fuck out, swearing to bring the entirety of the village against him in retribution if he tries such a thing. They fight for a bit, and surprisingly, Callahan wins. They then discuss plans for when the wolves arrive. Later, Eddie tells Roland about what Grand Pierre saw, and Roland freaks out in excitement. We still don't get to know. Over the next 5 days, the gang spends time Kambrina Kamaliing the community. getting to know everyone a bit better. We get to see Susanna be a total badass and use her protagonist powers to be better at plate throwing after 5 days than these people who have been training their whole lives to do it. After the demonstration, Jake thinks about Andy and starts planning a plan that I'll talk about later. Don't worry about it. He asks Roland if he can take the Ruger to the farm with him, but promises not to use it. Eddie realizes the plan for getting the lot from Calvin Tower was dumb, and he has a new idea. He wants to use Black 13 to tow dash into New York and meet with Tower. He knows how to secure the lot.
Yeah. So we're attempting to do a little bit of division of labor here where we talk about different chapters, and
Yeah, slightly different format.
unfortunately I'm up first. But fortunately, the first thing I have is that Roland calls Jesus Big Sky Daddy. And
Yeah.
that's
like-
amazing.
He's like the mutant. He's like, I hear the mutants, the slow mutants sometimes call him Big Sky Daddy.
Yeah. What a great name.
Yeah.
What a great name.
Eh.
I wish I could be more religious. They got great. They got cool things. Big Sky Daddy.
Big Sky Daddy. Yeah, he goes to like pee in an outhouse, and there's just a picture of Jesus.
Yes.
And he talks about being thankful that like the picture had him like looking to the side, because if he had to make eye contact with him while he was doing his business, he wouldn't know how to feel about it.
Is there any place in the world you really don't need to be reminded of religion more than on the shitter? Like, do you need that? The decorations that people tend to put in bathrooms is kind of confusing to me anyways.
Yeah.
Why do I need to live, laugh, love whenever I have diarrhea?
It's just to motivate you to know that soon it will be over.
I do like this too shall pass.
Yeah, this too shall pass.
I'd much rather have that. That'd be I have a
This poo shall pass.
I have a family member whose bathroom is just like decorated with like ironic jokes. And as a kid, I loved it. As an adult, I'm like, oh, this kind of sucks. Like, why are you doing all this to a guest bathroom? It's like a bathroom without it's like a half bathroom, just a toilet and sink.
Yeah.
And so people just go in there, piss and shit.
That is really funny that it's the guest bathroom.
Yeah.
The only like funny thing that we really have in our bathroom is so one time for like Christmas or a birthday or something, my little brother found like this cool artwork and he like got it framed for me.
Oh, yeah.
And after we moved, we didn't know where to put it, so Anna was like, I'm gonna hang it in here for motivation. It is the Hulk being very mad and smashing things.
Oh yeah. For
She's like,
motivation.
let's put it right here next to the toilet for motivation.
Where you go to smash.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
get it.
absolutely.
Hell yeah.
And that's the funniest shit ever to me.
Speaking of funny, I do like that King lets Roland have a sense of humor here, and actually a few times.
Yeah, I did make note of one later on in the book or in the section. But
Yeah.
Roland gets to be goofy.
Yeah, he laughs at the man Jesus, and like he kind of laughs at himself. Like, this is funny that I'm thinking this.
Yeah.
and this is kind of ridiculous. And as he begins to laugh, he starts to pee. Have you ever been midstream and laughed before?
I imagine probably, but not any time that I can think of.
It's interesting because you might not have, because if it hurts. It
can
is
see that, yeah.
not great.
Because like you kind of like like you tense up a little bit.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's not a great feeling. It's yeah, I remember in high school we were in the boys' locker room. We were before like wrestling practice or something. I was pissing the urinal and somebody made me laugh. I'm like, oh, this is terrible. This is the worst.
Oh, I'm exploding.
Yeah, oh, fuck. And then that within itself is funny. So you laugh more. You're like, oh my god, I don't even know how to explain this to anybody.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yes. What the fuck? Okay.
Deciphering your note.
Yeah. Well, I was at work. I was reading, but I was walking around and I was holding my right hand. So I wrote left-handed. And my left-handed,
Oh, no.
it's not great, but it's not like, you can kind of read that, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So like I could kind of write left-handed, but it's not my usual. So my usual fuck-ups don't look the same. I think it's believe it is, my next note is, thank God it is not 800 pages of secret keeping, i.e. Wizard and Glass. Because we're talking about Eddie found himself thinking of Ka, or Roland found himself thinking of Ka, who Eddie believed that Roland was little else, would have been astounded. Basically the fact that they got to talk about this pregnancy.
Yeah.
Because that happened just the chapter previous, right?
Yeah.
As I remember. Okay.
I think so, or like in the last episode somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere, right? And I'm like, oh, thank God, because if I could add back-to-back books of just the characters knowing what's going on and I don't, it'd been extremely frustrating, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, we even get some of that a little bit later. I've made some notes of it, but like, Eddie, knows what the old man told him, and he tells Roland what the old man told him, but we still don't know what the old man told him.
Yeah.
I have an idea.
Ooh.
But I'll get that whenever I get to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So section 2.
I still got a little bit for section 1.
My bad.
Sorry. No, you're right. So I got one. I believe one more thing. It was that when Roland is talking with Father Callahan, Callahan says, "We Catholics save that for ourselves, man, do you?" Basically, just talking about like getting stuff off your chest. Yeah. And Roland said, well, his inner monologue of the book is talking for him. The thought of absolution never crossed Roland's mind, and he thinks that it is almost comic to be able to do this. Does Roland have a conscience?
Yeah, I think I wrote something down about that too.
Okay.
He didn't need he didn't think he needed absolution.
Yeah.
And didn't think this old man could give it anyway. And
to think that you don't need absolution after the shit he's done, like, I guess you just don't buy into like religion or the shame that like especially Catholics feel at all times.
But even then, just like I don't need forgiveness for anything bad.
If you know what the word absolution means, you should probably think you might need some absolution.
Yeah, right.
Like once you get onto that theory of like, oh, I can be absolved of things. Yeah, I don't have to carry around the weight at all times.
Or just like I have done bad things, and somebody could say like, I forgive you. He's like, no, I don't need that. I haven't done anything bad enough to need to be forgiven.
Maybe his training has just kept him to where he seriously believes everything he's done is for an end, and everything he's done just yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
that everything that he does is like, no, like I had to do it. Like,
yeah,
sorry you put me in this situation, but I'm better and I win. So
yeah,
I guarantee you, not. Oh, did I do chapter 2? I did do 2, didn't I?
Okay, I was getting a little bit confused.
I did. Oh, I'm sorry. I just had so many notes.
You're good. You're good.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So there's a part where I went on like a little deep dive when we read these about
Remember I said I'd bring my mic back?
Oh, it's lighting up. Ruh-roh.
Go ahead. I'll fix it right now.
So there's a flower called like a Saucy Susan, and he keeps talking about it, how it smells kind of like lemony, what it looks like, that it's all over the place, and he keeps talking about this damn Saucy Susan, and so like I was googling, it's just from this book, but I was trying to figure out like what type of flower he was talking about, because I was thinking like, well, he doesn't know the name for it or whatever. Yeah. Or it's another case of them calling something a name that isn't actually what it is.
Yeah.
But no, it's just a dark tower flower.
Cool.
And again, the name Susan is brought up, so interesting. There's one part where like after he finishes peeing, he thinks like everything that they've just done, he says, and this was the beginning. All the rest had been ritual and preparation, necessary but not terribly helpful. A kind of dancing the rice song.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. So shit's about to go down, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
He found himself thinking of Ka, which he rarely did. Eddie, who believed Roland thought of little else, would have been astounded. And I put the note like, yeah, same.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't believe you.
Yeah, for sure.
But then it also says the only true rule was stand aside and let me work. And that's the only rule of Ka, is stand aside and let it work. And I was like, oh, that's kind of the concept he was telling Jake earlier. He just didn't have the same words for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, that's cool that like they're kind of backing that up again. And in another thing where I'm like, I don't believe you, Roland. There's a quote. At last, Roland said, "There was a prophecy that I should draw 3, and that we would become quartet. Never mind who made it. Never mind anything that came before. I won't worry that old knot. Never again if I can help it."
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of made me think like, he's saying, I'm not gonna think about the Man in Black again. I'm not gonna worry about like the prophecy that he told me, or I'm like, no, you're obsessed with that other dude. Like, what do you mean you're not ever gonna worry about him again?
Yeah, I don't know how you can have the meeting at the Golgotha that he had. And it's back. Eh.
Yeah.
Eh.
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, we'll be all right. You know, and sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
It's like he's in denial after like a breakup. He's like, nah, I don't care about them.
Yeah, it was mutual.
Yeah. No, we're good.
Yeah, I don't even think about her.
Yeah. He's like, I dumped him. Like, whatever.
Hell yeah.
That's all I have for section 2.
Yeah, we have a okay, and in subchapter 3, we have a reference to that. I don't believe it. Is he talking about Susan here as a hawk just yet? That might have been the last couple ones, but I haven't marked that. He had known the risks whenever getting his friends involved with anything, whether it be telling the dad to be or Susan to be throwing plates or to put her in the speaking ring. He knew the risks of it, and
Yeah, he does kind of think of her like that.
where I was saying Roland uses his friends like bullets.
Yeah.
The people are with him, and he'll just use them for an end, no matter what happens to them afterwards. It started with David, and I think even like suggesting that for Susan going to that demon ring, which is now having bad things happen now.
Oh, absolutely.
Is not great either. So yeah, a couple other. We have that Roland believes that the baby is going to kill Susan whenever it comes out.
Yeah.
Which is always a fun thing to think. Like, oh, we could be losing a member of the quartet like soon. Like end of this book, beginning of next book, maybe, if the baby is like progressing as fast as Roland thinks it is.
Yeah, and if it's going to be like as dangerous as he is thinking, then yeah, obviously he wants to see what they can do to kill it. Like, this isn't a baby Callahan. This is a monster.
Yeah, and not all life is precious. Like, unfortunately, we don't need to think about it like that. Directly after Roland and Callahan are talking about this, Callahan mused that Roland is upset of the breaking of the Tet, not necessarily losing a friend.
That's true.
That he's more upset that their strength will be weakened, not because it's one less person, but because they will no longer be unified. Even a Tet that Roland, he keeps on trying to say he's not a part of, but I think it's horseshit.
Yeah, he is the din of their Tet.
I don't know how he can say that he's like not maybe not a full-fledged member, like if you want to say that them three were, because they're all from New York and they have like some kind of a connection with each other, but like he's a part of it.
He's feeling imposter syndrome.
I thought he just wanted to fucking stay removed and aloof so he could throw him and kill him.
He's like, I'm not good enough.
Yeah. And I'm going to go through this quick, but not killing a demon baby because you're a Catholic is horseshit.
Yeah, it was really stupid. Like, it made me instantly flip on Callahan.
Yeah.
Like, I loved him so much in every other part of this book. And then this, I was like, this is stupid.
I think it's just so there wasn't that thought in King's head of, why don't they just give Susanna an abortion?
Yeah.
That's what, I mean, you could find another way to write that, like, that possibility out, because that does not match Callahan's character at all. Unless you are, like, making a two-dimensional Catholic priest, who Callahan is not. Vampire hunter, gay man, loses his faith.
Yeah.
Like, there's multiple levels to this man's identity that is not just Catholicism. And like, oh, I was a priest at one time in a different fucking world, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And like, what if you just told him it was a vampire baby? Would he be like, oh, okay, I get it?
Yeah, you're down with taking... That's the whole fucking twisted... Okay, we're not... Moving on.
We have to wait for it to grow up and do something bad.
Yeah, do something bad, and then we can fucking take it in the back and beat it to death with a shovel.
Yeah, that whole section, I was just like, man, fuck this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I had a little note, but I don't really want to talk about it because that's more to do with that. Where does mine end? I feel like I had a longer. It is a longer.
I feel like
episode
section
chapter.
3 was pretty long, yeah,
Yeah.
because it was their whole conversation.
Yeah. um, he's asking further on with their plan if he's like, should we enlist Andy to help us in this? He does good with the children, and Roland's like, no,
No, absolutely
no,
not.
not Andy. And Colin's like, well, he takes care of the rock cats, he protects them, and
He's very strong.
yeah, and Roland is not Andy. Just straight up like, no,
Yeah,
no,
He's like, and that's why I don't want him.
we're not doing this. And all I wrote down was something up with Tall Boy. So
Yeah.
I did have Roland's response where we kind of do leave this little conversation with Roland not winning, but maybe a little bit of sensibility here, where he says, "Your man Jesus seems to be a bit of a son of a bitch when it comes to women. Was he ever married?" Yo, Jesus was an incel.
Yo,
Hey, forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. Is definitely an incel line. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
100%,
I'm so much
yeah,
better
absolutely.
than everybody. They don't even know how bad it is to be fucking killing me.
holy shit, yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing. That's where I'm gonna leave you off. Subchapter 4.
Yeah, so Callahan heads off, and Roland says like he's gonna stay there and smoke for a second, just to like kind of give him time to go somewhere else. But I'm pretty sure it's just like because he needs to cool down.
Mm-hmm.
But while he's standing there smoking, Eddie runs up and like tells him about the like, oh, we found the here's what he told me. I forgot to tell you yesterday. But he just whispers it in his ear, and then Roland has the realization, and he whispers it in Eddie's ear,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, every time I highlighted it, and I was just like, God damn it, and like started like all capsing like every time they whispered to each other.
Yeah.
But there's a part where he's like, gray horses, he said, all those horses, the exact same shade. Do you understand me now, Eddie? Do you? Like, okay, they're robots. I'm pretty certain they're robots.
Oh yeah. Okay.
The horses are robots.
Okay.
The wolves are robots. That's like the only thing I can think of is like under the face, like under the mask that they're wearing, like you only wear a mask if it's something that will be recognizable to your viewers. So it's either got to be a person, like somebody that we know, and we don't know a whole army of people. So, and then I was like, or you're hiding like what they are.
Yeah, the only thing I have wrong with like the robot thought is that doesn't the mask like fucking fade away or rot somehow? Like it was some kind of skin. Remember whenever they said that the one they killed, they took the mask off and the mask like eventually rotted or some shit.
Something like that,
I
yeah.
don't know. It could still be. I mean, it could still be a fucking robot. But yeah.
I think that's what it is. That like these are like artificial people.
Okay.
At least the horses are robots.
For sure. Because they're all one color.
Yeah, they're all the exact same. Like copy
Yeah.
and paste the same horse.
Yeah. Control C, Control V, baby.
Yep, all day.
All right.
That section was pretty short though, so
So I have a big section yet again,
Yeah.
and
I didn't do that on purpose.
well, I think I even called 1 and 2, so it's on me. Fuck it. I'm gonna read it. Okay. It's a little bit of a paragraph, but it's worth it. I'm gonna try to get through it without laughing. In standard American English, the word with the most gradations of meaning is probably run. The Random House Unabridged Dictionary offers 178 options, beginning with to go quickly from the legs more rapidly than a walk, and ending with melted or liquefied. In the crescent Callas of the borderlands between Midworld and Thunderclap, the blue ribbon for the most meanings would have gone to Kamala. If the word were listed in the Random House Unabridged, the first definition, assuming they were assigned as in common in order of widest usage, would have been a variety of rice grown in the furthermost eastern edge of all world. The second one, however, would have been sexual intercourse. The third would have been sexual orgasm, as in, did he come Kamala? The hoped for reply being, I say thank you. Kamala big.
Well, the big.
To wet the Kamala is to irrigate the rice in dry time. It is also to masturbate. Kamala is the commencement of the big and joyful meal like a family feast. Not the meal itself, do ya, but the moment of beginning to eat. A man who is losing his hair, as Gare Strong was that season, is coming Kamala. Putting animals out to stud is damp Kamala. Gelded animals are dry Kamala. Although no one could tell you why, a virgin is green Kamala, a menstruating woman is red Kamala, and an old man who can no longer make iron before the forge is, say sorry, soft Kamala. To stand Kamala is to stand belly to belly, a slang term meaning to share secrets. The sexual connotations of the word are clear, but why should the rocky arroyos north of town be known as Kamala draws? For that matter, why is it fork sometimes a Kamala, but never a spoon or a knife? And it keeps fucking going. That's like half of it.
I really feel like in between like sections 4 and 5, he read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the
Oh,
Galaxy.
do they have moments like that?
Well, they have moments where it's like you take a break from the narrative and just like get told a passage from the book, and it's very like it's very like kind of educationally narrative like that,
Yeah.
like a little bit very goofy. It gave me Hitchhiker's Guide, but a little nastier vibes.
Okay, and it feels like it was something I could find in a video game that is not part of the main storyline.
Yeah,
Okay.
I loved it. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was strange, you know.
Very,
Funny,
very.
but strange, right? I didn't have much in this.
There wasn't a whole lot of plot. There was mostly just that.
That's really, and like we get even fucking Roland and Eddie talking about the abortion, and he's like, no abortion. Any particular reason why not? Roland's like, ka. Eddie says ka, which is always funny. Roland thinks of Diego Adams in Chaps for some reason. Let's put yo.
I mean, like, hey, you know.
Yeah, she might be thick with 2 C's. And the subchapter ends with "Year Bugger," which is one of my favorite sayings. So
You're bugger. Section 6, I believe that they were going and like this is when they did the plate demonstration.
yes,
Susanna even like at one point says, I may give up the gun altogether and just concentrate on the dish. There's an elemental satisfaction to giving that scream and then throwing.
yeah.
And I think this might be where he compares her to David the Hawk.
Says it right straight out.
Yeah.
You remind me of my hawk. It's like,
Yeah.
that's not good.
And then they kind of talk about some of the other ladies. All of them are really good with it. There's one who, she's okay. She's not as great though. And then this one made me like smile because he was like, okay, how about Zalia? Zalia? No. It's best that she throws one plate at a time, always with the right hand. She's a little slower, but I guarantee every plate she throws will drink something's blood. Okay, so she's the sniper. Zalia's the sniper. Susanna is the machine gunner.
Yep, heavy gunner for sure.
Yep.
Laying down, cover fire.
She just walks out with like the fucking like minigun from TF2. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And that's again, I think that was a pretty short section.
And I just read like chapter 7 while you were speaking about that, and it's basically just asking people, "Will you?" They're gonna pass something around and touch it? It was like something like basically when you ask the town, like I'm in. That's all they got.
Yeah.
You have what's the scene from Lord of the Rings? Like you have
Like
my
you have
axe.
my bow, you have my axe, yeah.
That's basically what it is.
The one time in that whole trilogy that Legolas talks to Frodo.
The only line spoken between them, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
God, I keep getting TikToks about that because like that's kind of blowing up on TikTok right now. The whole like Frodo does not know who Legolas is.
And if you go in there with that understanding, like his face in that scene is hilarious. He's like, "Oh yeah, that fucking guy."
Because like everybody walks in the room at the end of the last movie, and you can see him mouthing their names, and then Legolas walks in, and he just kind of has that like that.
It's like, fuck, what's your name? Damn it.
The elf. Gimli's friend.
Yeah, didn't you play in Pirates of the Caribbean? What the fuck's your name? Yeah, great. So that's all I had for 7 was that pretty short chapter.
And 8 again was very short. I didn't take any notes down for that one.
I had one, which was Roland went to Rosa and gave her a hug, brief but strong. As he did, he whispered in her ear that while he had no goose, he might be able to find a certain long-necked gander for her come evening.
You know what? I did highlight that in my Kindle, and the note I wrote was yuck.
A long-necked gander. Oh my god. Roland.
Roland's a different dude in this book.
He's different around women.
Yeah.
Like, even back to Toll, he was a little bit different. He was kind of an asshole to God, what was her name? 19. What's her name? Fuck.
I know who you're talking about, like the barkeep.
Yeah.
I can't think of her name though.
I don't remember. But he was, I mean, I don't know. Women love him. Is this just bad writing? Like, of course your MC has to be a love interest.
He's got a 24 charisma. That's all. Like,
That's what it is.
yeah.
Oh God. Okay. So, we get to subchapter 9, and Jake and Roland are talking, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think this is when Jake asks if he can take the Ruger.
Yeah, and Roland asks him, why does he want to take the Ruger? And he's like, well, I don't want you like showing it off to Benny if that's what you want. And Jake basically asks him, do you ask as my den? Basically like, I don't really want to get into this with you, but if you want to know, sure, let's do it, right? And of course, Roland's like, you know what? I shouldn't have fucking asked.
Yeah.
Like, it's his gun.
Yeah,
He's a gunslinger.
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
Where
like-
he was just like, yeah, no, actually.
You're right. I really shouldn't. So I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Yeah.
And he's like, I mean, and it also shows that like, he trusts Jake to make the right decisions.
Yeah, for sure. Which is good. That's
Yeah.
some good things that Roland does in this book, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I have them talking about going to Todash with Eddie, and he basically is like, and this time we'll have to go in the flesh, which is always kind of interesting.
Yeah, I did copy down some quotes from that.
Yeah. Did you want to go through 'em?
Sure. Eddie is like, this is when he's kind of telling him he's got a new plan for getting the tower or getting the lot from Calvin Tower.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how he needs to use Black 13 to get there. And everybody else is like, well, I'll go with you. And, he tells them, like, no, basically, he needs to go alone, gives them reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a funny one is like, as for sending Roland, no offense, boss, but you're not all that suave in our world. You, lose something in translation. Fucking killed me.
The Popkin
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. And then, Jake is kind of worried. He says, what if the ball sends you to the wrong place, the wrong version of 1977? Or he hardly knew how to finish. He was remembering how thin everything seemed when Black 13 had first taken them to Dash, and how the endless darkness seemed to be waiting behind the painted surface realities around them. Or someplace even farther, he finished. In that case, I'll send a postcard, Eddie said. With a shrug and a laugh. But for just a moment, Jake saw how frightened he was. I was like, Eddie's using, comedy to cover his fears again.
For sure.
But also that just kind of introduces the thought that, like, Black 13 might not always send you where you want to go.
Yeah, no doubt.
Could send you just into the nothingness.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
is that a Chekhov's gun, or is that just like telling us that it's something that could happen?
Yeah, maybe it's just so we don't think they could do everything.
Yeah.
Because with the I don't know if they're necessarily time traveling, because they say like time is somehow hooked to this universe as well.
Yeah.
They kind of like, but with that's a lot of power for your main characters to have, and they're like, oh, okay, we can't use this all the time.
Yeah.
We can only use it sparingly. Okay. I did want to say that Eddie mentions some kind of key world, like there is an Earth Prime.
Yeah.
That's interesting to me about which way that could go. And I don't want to get too far into that, but I want to mention that they mentioned it here. So
It is a very interesting concept.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, like, well, were you guys even from Earth Prime?
are they all from the same version?
Yeah, are you all from the same version of Earth? Or is Earth just not even actually a key world? It's just like a level of the tower, kind of.
Yeah, it's just kind of
Like
there.
maybe, maybe Roland's world is the only like key world out there.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
But I did like that concept.
For sure.
All right, I think that's all for chapter 1. I've got my notes for my summary for chapter 2.
I didn't have nothing for 10, so go ahead. The
Yeah.
Dogen, part 1.
The next morning, Eddie and Roland go get Black 13 and make their way to the cave, where Eddie hears the voices of his mother and Henry taunting him. Roland opens the box, and Eddie steps on through to the other world. He makes it to the bookstore and sees Salazar's car out front and the sign flipped closed. He forces his way in and starts to sneak to the back. Tower keeps some special valuable books in the back, and Biondi and Andolini are threatening to start burning them one by one if Tower doesn't make a verbal agreement. Eddie acts like he's pals with the guys to distract them, and then while they're trying to figure it out, he beats the ever-loving shit out of Biondi. He jumps on Andolini and threatens to start shooting off body parts unless he sends Salazar a message that Tower is off limits. He is now under the protection of the Tet Corporation.
Mm-hmm.
After chasing the thugs out, Eddie notices the book that almost got torched is called The Dogen by one Benjamin Slightman Jr. He tells Tower he needs to get out of town. The threat won't last long and the guys will be back and will plan to do worse. So they make plans for him to go to Maine and have Deep now write up a contract selling the lot to the Tech Corp for just $1, though he says he'll pay them more later. To prove Eddie is who he says he is, Calvin goes to get an old letter from his great something or other, and asks Eddie, if you can tell me the name written in this note for instructions on who to give the lot to, I'll give it to you. With practically no hesitation, Eddie says it's Deshane, and first name is either Stephen or Roland.
Mm-hmm.
Tower is speechless and will do everything Eddie wants, but only on one further condition. Roland then sees the two of them heading towards the door, pushing a rolling shelf full of Tower's rarest books. A while later, Roland and Eddie are walking down the mountain, and Eddie notices that Roland has again visibly gotten older and is in a lot of pain. They both agree Benny Slightman the Elder is the traitor, but figuring out more beyond that is Jake's part.
Yeah.
Dun dun.
So this is where my notes definitely start to taper off.
Yeah.
Just a FYI. For chapter 1, I had that the bag that they were carrying the ball in reads Midworld Lanes, which is
Yeah.
always interesting. That because I believe that didn't it say like Midtown Lanes? Whenever did this come?
Did it?
Well, Jake had a bag that said Midtown Lanes because he was a bowler.
Yeah, I thought. Wait, he did at one point, yes, but I think this is the one that he picked up while they were toe dashing the first time, right?
And did it say Midtown or Midworld?
I don't know. I have to go look.
I forget. Yeah,
That would be interesting, though.
yeah, I remember something to do with Midtown Lanes, and it caught me by. I was like, I think that's what this means, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't really have much with the first chapter. It's just basically what you covered it really well in the summary, so I can't add much.
Yeah, the first four or five parts of the section really are kind of slow. It's just mostly them like walking up the mountain and talking.
Yeah.
Getting everything set up, like to go toe dash, like Roland has to hold the box open with Black 13 and basically like let it wake up fully.
Yeah.
And it is like fully chiming the bells of the thinny in his ears, and he's doing the bullet trick, but it's not working as well because it's right there next to him.
And Eddie has some real dumb ideas, like why don't you prop the door open? Come in with me. I'm like, you want to risk it? No.
It's like, no, this thing will be like, you dumb fucks.
Yeah.
And
What do you
smash it
thinking?
shut.
This is a magic orb thing.
Yeah.
That can fuck that. I ain't trusting especially something known as like sinister Black 13 bad guy thing.
Yeah, and like even when like Roland starts to take his hand out of the box a little bit to like put the bullets in, like he sees the lid of the box starting to close itself.
Yeah. Because if that door closes, I doubt Roland could conjure it back up. He doesn't know what the fuck Eddie is. He'd
Yeah.
just be stuck.
Absolutely.
Go. You're 1977 now. Good luck, boss.
You wanted to go back home, get some fried chicken? Well, all the time.
And it's 10 years before his time, so he's out of place. He has
True,
no
yeah.
one to talk. Like, yeah, that'd be terrible. Ugh, be the worst. But Yes, that's 1, 2, and 3 are kind of the same. I had that that the Eddie has started to say that there was a wrong day. It was too early, and he didn't know. He's like, "How does this line up?" And then like, "Oh well, I think I got the rules figured out." But then he thinks to himself, "If there are rules,
If there are rules,
yeah," which is always an interesting. I don't know if it's a writer cop out, but it's always like if it's not stated for me clearly, it also adds some tension to basically everything because we have a very clear cut daytime, probably time of the day that the wolves are going to attack, but we don't know what's happening over here, and they also can't just do it right. Like they're kind of also tied to. We'll find out later. Or they're tied to Calvin Tower now that they have to protect this man and whatever is going to happen with him because I don't think the mob guys are going to be too hyped that he sold it. I think Sombra is. If you told me in this version of Earth that Sombra ends up killing, what's the main boss guy's name?
Salazar?
Yeah, Enrique, I think. Balazar. There we go. Balazar. Yeah, it's B.
Oh, you know what? I put Salazar in my notes earlier. That's why.
It's Balazar, yeah. But yeah, if they took they ended up just wiping him out because fuck you. 'Cause I think that Sombra is not of Earth to me.
Yeah, they feel like they're of Midworld.
Yes.
Of the Crimson King.
Yeah, they are like agents of the bad guys, and that. Oh no, you're a mobster. Okay, well here I have 50 people that are fucking vampires. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, you're a badass in Earth. Cool. I have monsters.
Yeah. You mean nothing.
Yeah. Let me just call my boy Randy Flag, see what he's doing. Come down here and turn you insane or whatever, you know. But
yeah, and then like Eddie kind of forces his way into the store because when he gets there, he sees the car out front, and he takes like a copy, like he doesn't, since he broke his way in, the door won't stay shut, so he just finds like an old copy of Grinch and like rips out some of the pages and like jams them into the door to keep it shut.
and it's even like I didn't like how that book ended. And I'm like, what do you not like about how the Grinch ended? You don't like that his heart grew 5 times in size or whatever it was, and he became a good guy?
Yeah, he's too happy.
Yeah. Fuck them
But
hoes.
I definitely took that quote out because like I found it funny.
Yeah.
I never liked that one, the way that one ended.
Okay, Eddie.
Okay, yeah.
And honestly, I don't know if I've ever read How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I've
I
seen
think I have.
like the cartoon and the Jim Carrey version.
Yeah. Have you seen the new cartoon?
No.
Me neither. I really wanted to because I liked what they did with the the Lorax,
Oh yeah.
but I never did check out the Grinch.
I don't watch many like kids movies very often. I need to. I wish I would, but
Yeah.
wait until I have a kid. And I'll be, oh my god, I can watch like everything since like Shrek 1. I haven't
Yeah.
seen any kids movies since like the early 2000s.
Damn.
I just stopped. Like I saw Finding Nemo like I didn't want to, but like everybody in high school was gonna like watch it at a girl's house. I was like, okay, I guess I'll watch Finding Nemo. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
So
oh,
I've
yeah.
always had like that. I was like, I don't need this anymore, and I could always watch these again for the first time.
Yeah. I'm almost the opposite. Like I almost completely prefer like animated movies. Like if I'm gonna go watch something in theaters, it's gonna be because it's gonna be like cool to look at.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel like animation has a much like it's more often that like animation is gonna be visually appealing to me.
I can see that. That's interesting. I don't have that like it doesn't appeal to me as much. So
Yeah.
that's just our own personal preference, you know.
Quick aside, just like for animation stuff. Have you seen? Did you watch Spider-Verse? I know that some people kind of
I
that off as
have
kids.
not.
Dude, you would love that, honestly.
I know I would.
Honestly,
I know I would. And I need to watch it. It's just
can I tell you just like
yeah.
one thing?
Tell me
that, like,
everything. I don't.
the coolest animation thing like that made me love the movie even more.
Yeah.
So most of the like so it's all the different versions of Spider-Man or whatever.
Yeah.
But it starts off with like Miles Morales.
Mhm.
he's animated at like 15 FPS.
I've heard,
heard
this
that?
on
Yeah.
TikTok. It's very cool.
And then like all the
Yeah.
other Spider-Man are at 30. And as he gets more used to his powers, like they animate him more fluidly.
Even when he was like getting dragged along by like one of the main Spider, I think it's Topher, or God, not Topher Grace.
No, so that one's called Peter B. Parker.
Peter
And
B. Parker.
It's from like almost basically like the comics universe,
Uh-huh.
but it's a Peter Parker who is like old and tired and kind of depressed.
Vibes.
like-
He's the millennial Spider-Man.
Yeah. Like this is a Peter Parker who
Yeah.
has a beer gut and is kind of done.
I love that.
Yeah, he's good. He's great.
I do need to see it. There's some that I don't know what the fuck I do with all my time, but I never have time for anything ever. It seems like I'm always doing nothing, but I have no time to do anything.
Right.
You know,
It's like I spend all my fucking free time on my phone, but not doing anything.
nothing productive, nothing like of substance that I will remember, that I will be able to ever tell a story about. It's like existing. It's like being fucking plugged into the Matrix, you know.
Yeah, like a lot of my stories are like, so I saw a TikTok earlier.
And like what the bad thing is immediate dopamine. I love it while I'm doing it. Like there's nothing of like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I have some. Never mind.
No, I get it though.
Yeah, I was gonna go deep into like the the metaphor. And like, it doesn't really need to be, so I'm not going to.
But yeah, so when we have the guys in the back with Mr. Tower, he's I wrote down this quote. "Please, Mr. Andolini," Tower said. He spoke in a humble, shaken voice. "Please, that's a very valuable book." "Ah, of course it is. All the ones in this case are valuable. I understand you got a signed copy of Ulysses that's worth $26,000. And then he's like, "What kind of book's worth 26 large?" He's like, that one is not here. That is in my safety deposit box."
Yeah.
And Andolini's like, "Yeah, but these ones, I see the number 7,500 written on there. That's you can get a pretty decent car for that. And if you don't listen up, my match and lighter fluid here are gonna have fun."
Yeah. My dick.
Yeah.
I break my kneecaps. Don't burn my books, bro.
Yeah, don't fuck with my books. And then like when Eddie like sneaks up on him, this was one of my favorite parts. It was like so clever. It's like, "George," he cried. It was the tone of one greeting his oldest, fondest friend after a long absence. "George Biondi, man, you still got the biggest beak on this side of the Hudson. Good to see you, man." There is a certain hardwiring in the human animal that makes us respond to strangers who call us by name. When the summoning call is affectionate, we seem almost compelled to respond in kind. In spite of the situation they were in back here, George Big Nose Biondi turned, with the beginning of a grin, toward the voice that hailed him with such cheerful familiarity. And then as he's like about to be like, "Hey," Eddie jumps on him and beats him to living shit.
Beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, beats like relentlessly, mercilessly, just fucking destroys him.
Like I'm surprised he didn't kill him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like basically using the gun as like the butt of the gun as a hammer almost, just
Yeah.
like pa pa pa.
Now I'm thinking, does he grab it by like the barrel and use it, or is it this is like if the barrel's up here, he's just hitting it like that?
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like he was
Okay.
like kind of like pistol whipping him almost,
For sure.
like
For sure.
Ugh. And then like he kind of turns on Andolini, and like he kind of gives him his speech, tells him like like basically tells him like, "I'm gonna fucking destroy all of you."
Mm-hmm.
And he's got Andolini like in his grasp with George on the floor down there, and there's a quote, "Eddie saw fear in Jack Andolini's eyes, but no panic."
Yeah.
And I liked that. That was just cool.
He's afraid, but he's like, I've been in situations like this before.
Yep. Let me see. Oh, and then there's a spot where Eddie starts to think like, and along this track of possibility, on this level of the tower, Andolini might not be eaten by lobstrosities later in life, because this world was different from all the others. This was level 19 of the Dark Tower.
Mm-hmm.
19.
Is that's Callahan's? I believe Callahan's version of Earth is now level 19 because Callahan is in this Earth.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's been hinted at, but he is. like the one where this Calvin Tower escapes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, is the one of Salem's Lot, which is not a great world to live in.
No,
Like-
absolutely.
He's going to like Maine. There's
Oh, he
vampires.
is. Yeah.
Like 1977, Salem's Lot. Like that's around the time.
That's crazy.
That's a bad place to vacation.
Absolutely, yeah.
I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I think that's what it is. And now he's for vacation. Like, don't get turned into a vampire, bro.
And then, God, and Tower is such a fucking nerd too. Like,
Oh,
nerdy
man.
ass vampire.
Oh man, he'd be the worst.
I want to suck your type B negative blood. We've got the fine cup of A positive here.
Why is his accent change?
'Cause he's a vampire. It's a vampire accent.
Vampires get an accent?
Yeah. You get turned into a Dracula and you start speaking like one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. I like
It's my favorite part of Twilight. Is all the goofy voices.
Yo, oh my God, Kristen Stewart doing a poor Dracula impersonation would be amazing. Just those movies.
She's like, what are you, Edward? Say it.
Say it. This is a terrible bit. I hate it, but it's fucking funny.
I really want to like do some lines of fucking Twilight, but with that fucking voice.
That needs to be, somebody needs to do that. Like just
Dub over the whole movie.
And any vampire is all done by one guy doing the same accent of a poor Dracula impersonation.
The fucking like the count from Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to work on that. TM. Do not steal. Then we get a part later though of Eddie being a total badass.
Yeah.
Where like, you know, he's using the fact that he used to work with this guy and like that he's kind of from the future and he knows so much about him.
Oh man.
And to this version of Andolini, this is a total stranger.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, telling him like, you know, do not approach Tower again. Let me see. He goes, anybody who comes here and even raises his voice to Tower will kill their whole families and them last. That goes for George, for Jimmy Dreddo, Trix Bastino, for your brother Claudio too. Andolini's eyes widened at each name and then winced momentarily shut at the name of his brother. And then down here, like he says, how do you know so much? Andolini asked. That doesn't matter. Just pass on the message. Tell Balazar to tell his friends at Sombra that the lot is no longer for sale. Not to them it isn't. And tell them that Tower is now under the protection of folk from Gilead who carry hard calibers.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't even think I copied all of it, but just like, he just starts rattling off all these things he knows and all these people that he can hurt and that he can find.
Yeah.
And like, we know Eddie probably won't, but Andolini don't know that.
I mean, they even talk about it later on in the chapter where Calvin thought he was bluffing, and Eddie and him, he's like, wolves don't mate with humans. Like these are not good people. So like
Yeah.
even their wives, wolves raise wolves. So if I had to kill them all, I would just think of them as wolves. I'm doing a service.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just, you know, exterminating pests.
It's crazy, terrible way to think of things. But yeah,
Of fucking humans, yeah.
yeah. But
yeah, so he chases them out. He and Calvin go out to the front of the store, start talking, and in a part that just really, really cracked me up, Calvin gets him some coffee, and Eddie pours in a shit ton of half and half, so much half and half, and then like after he finishes the coffee, he just takes the half and half and just starts drinking that too.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck, I miss this stuff.
Yeah, like goddamn, this is great.
I was like, dude is gonna shit so weird later.
Oh, you know it will. Especially not having any dairy, anything for so ever. They even mentioned in here that it might be years that he's been gone. He doesn't know. He has to tie his hair up with a piece of leather. Like he has a little bit of hair. For reference, who is concerned watching the video, I am the back of my hair was buzz cut almost 3 years ago. I'm like 2 years and 10 months. That's about how fast your hair grows.
Yeah.
I could tie my hair back now. but that's a little while for hair to grow. So.
Yeah. And like, I don't think I've had like a hair cut since before we started this.
Yeah.
And I think when I started, it was pretty short.
God, my hair was short when we first started this, wasn't it? Like, we've been almost doing this almost 3 years.
Has it
Are
been?
we 3 fucking years? No, I think we looked the other day and it was like
Yeah, like
it was
a year and a half.
20 months, something
Yeah.
like that. Okay, I can deal with that. It's already been 3 fucking years. Went through book 5. Like, fuck. So they start talking about a book, and it's of course entitled "The Hogan," and it's Benny Slightman Jr. that wrote it. And
he's like, this is so valuable because of all these misprints.
yeah,
You know, it says the Dogan on it. Remember that name because it doesn't mean anything to us now. But
title of the chapter.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah.
And then, you know, it's written by Benny Slightman Jr., but on this copy, it's credited to Benny Slightman with no Jr., so like implying it's his father. And then, you know, we get a point where like, Benny Slightman was killed outside of a general store, and Eddie's like, I'd bet you anything in the world that was Took's general store.
Yeah.
And also it was like in Montana, I think, which kind of lined up a little bit with like the visual map I had been like talking about, like lining it up with the states kind of.
After Topeka, yeah.
I don't think it's supposed to really be overlaid with the U.S., but I was like, oh, that kind of works a little bit.
For sure, yeah. We said that he was going to be able to sell this book for $7,500, right? It's a good price for a book.
Oh, absolutely. Especially back in 77.
That's where I'm going. $7,500. They said he could buy a new car. How easy was life? A new car for $7,500?
I'm going to go do some math real quick.
Go do it.
I want to know how much a, let me see, 1977 money to today.
Yeah. Let's see how much we're talking here. I mean, you can buy like a $20,000 car new, but those are like bottom of the line new cars. Those are like mass produced. Everybody,
All right, so
economy family cars.
$7,500 in 1977 to 2023 is
50 years ago.
worth $37,355.94. So, yeah, you could get that is a brand new car.
So whenever you were making $1.25 an hour back then, you're making good money.
Well, let me see, because like
what was minimum wage in '77? Let's get on our soapbox a little bit here.
that I don't know yet, but I put in $1.25. $1.25 was worth $6.23 today.
That's actually not good.
Yeah.
Well, never mind. You were making shit.
Let me see. Minimum wage 1977 was $2.30.
$2.30. So that's really not that much. Actually, it's like $10.
2.30 is slowly.
Yeah.
11.46.
Which is higher than minimum wage now. Not
Yeah.
good money.
Let's see what minimum wage now.
Back to 1977.
Yeah.
Oh, right now it's $7.25.
Now it's $7.25. If you were getting paid $7.25 an hour in 1977, it would be worth $36.11 today.
Jesus. So really, the climbing comes after like the third and fourth dollar.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's straight math, but like it starts to.
You see, yeah, $1 is equal to $4.98. So basically, anything times 5.
Yeah. A fifth.
Yeah.
Average rent price, $97.7.
Average rent price.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's just say even in New York. I love doing math like this because money isn't real either. That's gonna be our next thumbnail.
Average asking price for a new studio apartment in 1978 was $517 a month, compared to $394 a month for new apartments available the previous year.
Okay, a year before, $394.
That's just a studio.
Still though,
Yeah.
look up a studio apartment right now, and I guarantee you, a 1977 studio isn't one of these closets that have no appliances and half a fridge.
Right. So, what was that? 300 and what? Do you remember?
354, sure.
354. Yeah.
Say even 394. It was something like that.
Type in 354, in 1977 is worth $1,763 today.
I'm gonna go look at the average price for rent right now. 1,700.
So, oh boy, average price rent NYC. Okay, that didn't pull up a quick answer. STUD in it.
What is it?
3,400
Doubled.
for a fucking studio.
$3,400. I don't make $3,400 a month.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, and like, God, 34 times 12 is what? Like, I could do this math. $40,800 in a year. $40,000 towards rent in a year.
Jesus Christ.
There ain't no way.
Yeah, fuck that town. What the
Fuck
hell?
that. Yeah. The fuck. Anyways.
Um,
Dark Tower. Oh shit.
So, once he, let me see. Oh yeah, so they start talking and they say, I have a safe out back. There's something in it, something even more valuable than my copy of Ulysses. Eddie asks him why why is it here and not in your safe deposit box then? Because it's supposed to be here. It's always been here, perhaps waiting for you or someone like you. Once, Mr. Dean, my family owned almost all of Turtle Bay, and well... Wait, just wait. So he goes and gets it. He's like, once this envelope held the will of my great-great-great-grandfather. Is dated March 19th, 1846. 1 plus 8 plus 4 plus 6. 19.
Why March then?
Yeah. Because there is no 19th month. Otherwise, it definitely would have been.
The 19th month.
But yeah, so then he says, like, if you can tell me, what's inside this envelope, then I will, sell this to you for $1. Sure.
Yeah.
So Eddie's like, another fucking riddle. Thank God it's an easy one. It's Deshane. The first name will either be Roland, the name of my den, or Stephen, the name of his father. And then Tower, like, the color immediately drains from his face.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, he's like, holy shit, what the hell? He opened it and put it on the counter where they could both read the words. Stefan Torin had written, Roland Deshane of Gilead, the line of Eld Gunslinger.
Yeah.
And so he's like, well, fuck, okay, yep.
So are they now going to have to go back and, like, Bill and Ted's Awesome Adventure this? And go back and get him to write this letter in order?
That would be hilarious.
Like, all right. So you have like a picture of 1855 so I can go back?
Yeah, right.
So I can look at it like,
You got a Polaroid of your grampy?
Yeah, they got to do a Back to the Future 3. That'll be great.
Best cowboy movie.
Man, that's a hot take, but I'm here for it. The best Western is Back to the Future 3.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, then Tower is like, yeah, absolutely. I'll start getting deep now, ready to go. We'll get everything taken care of. We'll get out of town.
Yeah.
But will you help me with these books?
Yeah.
And so then they push like a rolling bookcase like through the door behind Eddie. And Tower's like, oh, can I go out there? Can I look?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, fuck off.
Yeah, he notices the shimmer behind it, but he also catches Eddie talking to it, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
And how cool Tower is. We're like, oh yeah, there's a shimmer behind you. I know it's a portal to somewhere else. I know it's 1977 and whatever. I've read books, so I can take.
I've read books.
I've read books. What are you
I
talking
love fantasy. Like, this is my shit. It's okay. I get
about?
it.
Oh yeah, okay. I get it. I'm just now involved. Cool. They could have just taken him.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, you just get to hang out in this town with some hillbillies for a little bit. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
They can't reach you here.
No.
Yeah. But, well, I guess he needs to sign over the property, all legalese and everything.
Their plan for getting in contact was kind of cool too, leaving the zip code.
Yeah,
on
like
on the fence.
like you have, like, Deep Now go and like based on however somebody's watching, they'll like go and do a little bit of graffiti in one spot. It was very complicated, but very very neat.
I guess you could just written the name of the town.
Yeah.
But it's easier just to, right? I mean, if you like check the towns and then make some calls, you can figure out somebody is there or not. So,
but then they get back and Roland closes the box, shuts the door, puts Black 13 to sleep basically. As they're walking down like the mountain, like Eddie takes note that like, oh, he has aged again. Like
yeah.
Like this fucked him up. It was hard.
Yeah.
But there are some funny lines between them. Again, like just Roland getting to be kind of goofy.
Yeah.
Didn't like him much, did you? Roland asked. Tower, you mean?
Yeah.
Roland tipped him a sardonic glance. Of whom else would I be speaking? The cat?
And doesn't like Eddie give him like a huh. Like it's a laugh, but it's not really a laugh. And then Roland gives him one right back. Like, oh, this is great. This would be amazing to see on screen.
Yeah, like I love it. I love Roland just getting to be a little goofy, a little sassy.
Yeah. Unless he's doing it with women, and then it makes me uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, because then he's also horny. And
the guy that Eddie knows, and like old, big, tall, and ugly, and these bombardier eyes, and this gruff gentleman that will, then the way he like. Is Riz with the women, man.
I've got a long gander.
Yeah. Oh no, long necked gander.
Long necked gander.
Oh God. Good job, Roland. Only you.
But then they're talking about him for a little bit afterwards, and Roland says something about like he's brave in his own way, like he is kind of courageous, and Eddie says his courage didn't strike me as real courage. It was more like greed. Not all are called to the way of the sword or the gun or the ship, Roland said, but all serve Ka. Really? Does the Crimson King? Or the low men and women Callahan talked about? Roland didn't reply. And I liked that line because it could kind of be taken in a few different ways. Like, Ka is bullshit. Is one. Like, well, if everything serves it, why are people actively working against it? That whole idea is kind of bunk. Or it also kind of serves the idea of like, everyone's the good guy in their own story in their own head. And so like these guys are serving what they think, Ka and Destiny is.
For sure.
So I like that. It's kind of like another meta narrative type thing. Or like a like fuck this whole Destiny thing is stupid.
Yeah. No doubt.
And then that is the end of chapter 2.
All right. Chapter 3.
All right, chapter 3, Jake's part.
Keep moving.
Or actually the Dogen part 2. All right, that night, Jake sneaks out to go back to where he saw Elder Benny and Andy chatting the other night. He crosses the river and heads in the direction he had seen Benny going. He eventually sees signs of technology and footprints that he believes to be Benny and Andy's. They lead to a building that seems like some sort of military installation. He approaches and realizes that though it has power and automated lights, it appears to be abandoned. A sign on the door even says, "Welcome to the Dogen." He sneaks in and finds a room that reminds him of the control area beneath Flood, with lots of screens that are projecting images from all over the Calla. Before he can find out much information, on one of the screens he sees Andy and Benny approaching the building. So he quickly finds a hiding spot in the living quarters. Ben then has a Zoom meeting with his bosses, who are probably one of the Wolves or someone from that organization, giving a progress report of everything the Quartet has been up to. After they've left, Jake heads back to the Benny's house, realizing that if this gets out, then Benny Jr.'s whole entire world is about to be destroyed.
I'm sorry. Them having Benny the Elder be on mute should have been a fucking bit. I can't hear you. You're muted. I'm muted. I'm muted.
I don't know how to turn this filter off. I am not a cat.
Oh my God. I tried to send my mom a TikTok the other day, and I guess TikTok now, if you don't have it, it makes you sign in to watch
Oh.
it. It's super lame. It's like
Oh yeah.
you used to be able to send it and just take you to a website you could watch it. But
Yeah.
you know, all right. But she was trying to tell me I don't have TikTok anymore, and her autocorrect was saying "Till Tom" instead of TikTok. She said it like 3 times. I was like, "Oh my god, I've had these exact moments before."
I don't have Tiltom. Tiltom. Tiltom.
I was-
Tiltom.
it's like, oh, this is amazing! Like, oh yeah, technology and our ignorance of it makes for some really funny shit, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the section starts off with like we get like a monologue from, or like not a monologue, but like kind of inner thoughts from Jake, where he's thinking about how like all day that he's been planning this, he's been like getting them both to work like really hard at whatever they're doing, trying to like basically to wear, you know, younger Benny out.
Mhm.
And he's also like, but I'm doing all the same shit.
Yeah, I'm fucking tired too. Shit.
But like his plan is basically to get, you know, him so tired and so sleepy that he doesn't notice him like sneaking out.
Yeah.
And he does the adorable thing of setting his alarm clock and having Oi wake him up like after a while.
Yeah.
And Oi just kind of like nudges him. He's like, "Oi, moon, moon."
Yeah. Whenever he finally wakes up, like Oi talks forever. He's
Yeah.
like, ache, moon, oi, quiet, shut up.
There's even a part where he's like, "This was the most Oi had said in a very long time."
Yeah, like,
After
God.
that, he was promptly very quiet.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, Oi, god damn it.
And we just later, like throughout the whole chapter, we get like Oi just like randomly being like, "Quiet,
Yeah.
quiet, Oi."
I'm marketing. I mean, it's a slam dunk, alley oop, home run, whatever sports metaphor, hole in one, to have merchandise for Oi. It would sell.
Oh yeah,
You know.
Oi. Whenever they make this TV show, Oi needs to be like,
And like you said, he needs to be in it from episode 1.
yeah,
He really does.
Yeah.
And Roland cannot like him. He can run off for half an episode and come back.
yeah. But they need to introduce him way earlier than in the books, just because like merchandising, baby.
Can you imagine how heartbreaking it would be to see Oi watch Jake fall?
Oh,
Yeah. And maybe we don't see Oi for the beach.
yeah.
Maybe we don't see him until Eddie comes back. He's been following in the shadows. He's like, "Nah, fuck this dude. Fuck Roland. But Eddie, you're okay."
Yeah. Or like he just kind of like sadly like follows
Yeah.
Roland out of the cave, and like he's like, "Well, I don't know where else to go now."
So does Oi go on the fucking acid trip in the Golgotha too?
We get like a little break from that just to see like Roland sitting on the like the log or whatever, like and like always like oi, and, like kind of like headbutting his leg.
What are you doing, dude? So does Oi like the Man in Black or not?
Probably not. No,
Okay.
we can get like a little shot of like Oi like kind of like hiding behind Roland's leg,
Oh,
like doing a
even
little
if-
like peek around.
Like he has his hand out. Oi could like nip at him. I'm like, motherfucker. Like, God damn it. Get out of here, you mutt. You know,
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it would be, I don't want it to be like the Oi show, but as much as you could include to break tension to make it not as monotonous with fucking Roll, it could be.
yeah.
That's season 1 for you.
Oh yeah,
You know?
yeah. That make him your Grogu for a little bit. Like fuck it.
Could you just pick up Oi in Zoltan's hut? Could it not be a crow or a raven, whatever it is, and have Oi now come along?
Yeah. I was kind of thinking like he'd find Oi and Jake around the same time. Like
Oh,
maybe Oi would
maybe-
be at the way station.
Yeah, why the fuck would Oi be in a way station? That's the tough one.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck is a
Yeah,
goddamn
because of what
bubbler in the
the
desert?
because of what the way station is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's just be some retconning.
Yeah.
We found out that. Oh, did we find that out yet?
That-
Have we been back to the way station?
I mean, with Callahan,
I was like, okay, wait, is that my memory or have we actually talked about that? So,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Yeah.
I was like trying to be like, do we know what?
Yeah, yeah.
Are we learning
We,
more?
we
or
could just retcon that. Like, for some reason, Oi gets fucking taken back too by Man in Black.
Yeah.
You know, why?
Yeah.
Why not?
or he just happened to find it like Roland happened to find it.
Yeah. Maybe he was
He was thirsty and he was
the
trying.
bumbler in black, fled across the desert, and Oi followed.
Always on his whole mission the whole time,
He has a whole other fucking character arc that he's going through.
and nobody notices it.
Oh my god. Yes. Oi is actually the Crimson King. Turn of the fucking century.
Well, he gets like a little cowboy hat and it's like, Billy Bumbler. And then he puts it on. Oi, the Billy Bumbler!
Oh my god. That'd be great. Oi and a cowboy hat is what I need. Need that in my life.
But hilariously, what gets Benny Slightman Jr. to pass out is Jake starts explaining the concept of ballpoint pens. to him.
Ballpoint. What a fucking nerd. Like,
And like 30 seconds into it, Benny's
in
snoring.
my mind, no, it's like 10 minutes. Like Jake just goes on this fucking epic, like, so we started with, in feathers. That's how pens dry. Ink became hard to find. And like, he's going in this full on, like, he's had all these, he's done research on pens for some fucking reason. Because this man loves trains and pens.
Jake's autistic. I love this guy. He's probably like,
He doesn't have the touch. He just like can actually pick up on social cues, so he thinks he's special. Oh my god.
I also do really like the idea though that like it knocked Benny out immediately. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was so
I-
boring.
It's like I don't give a fuck. What are you talking about? I'm so tired.
Or maybe Jake does go on that rant, but like Benny was knocked out from like minute 1 and he just didn't notice.
He didn't notice. He needs all the like precious minutes of sleep he can get. He's just fucking so hyped to talk about pins. Like, like he probably brought up the fact that Bic was originally B-I-C-H. Did you know that about Bic?
I didn't.
Oh, really?
No,
Oh, yeah. They changed it because they thought Americans would pronounce it bitch.
we would have.
1,000%
We
would have said
would've.
bitch. And yeah. Maybe am I obsessed with pins? Fuck. Oh my god, I'm sweating. Yes. Either way, yes, I love Jake. He's great.
While he's like kind of waiting for it to be late enough to sneak out, he starts thinking about like his life in New York and his life here. And there's a line where it says like, "That life was richer," a voice deep in his mind whispered. "This one is truer," whispered another, even deeper voice.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I didn't really have much more to say about that other than, points at thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Look at it. Okay.
See?
Yeah, do you see? Oh, yeah. So I have no notes for this, like, at all. I
Yeah.
just re-listened to it this morning, and I was like, okay, I think I remember this. It's honestly, for some reason, this is, like, one of the sub-chapters, or the whole chapters that I remember the goddamn most about this book, and it's not one of my favorites. It's kind of boring to me.
Honestly, though, I get that because, like, it just really stands out.
It's because it's so fucking weird. Like,
Yeah.
okay, there might be a fight here. We find out who the traitor is. We get to see Andy be a little bit more of a dick. I do like that.
Yeah, he's very malicious. We find out really, like, about the act that he's putting on.
Yeah.
But then, like, as Jake is wandering, like, kind of following the path, he knows that, like, the world seems to get a little bit darker. Not the same kind of dark as, like, when they went toe dash with Black 13, but darker. And he realizes, like, he's at the edge of Endworld, whatever the hell that means. And as he's getting close to the little building, he notices these things that aren't really ultimately important to the story, but is a very cool world building thing. He looked around and saw 2 spiny barrels of the cactus tangle on his right, swiveling slowly and blindly toward him. There was a faint grinding sound, and dribbles of white sap were running down the cactus's central barrel. Oh, it's a penis. Never mind. I didn't think about that before. These are penis cactuses.
Yeah.
But cactuses that were like aiming towards him, like they were wanting to strike out at him. But I just realized they're penises.
Okay.
Uh,
I've never made that connection, but I'm gonna let it rock.
Dribbles of white sap were running down the central barrel.
Yeah. 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 I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so he gets to the building. he sees like a thing on the door or a thing on the gate that says something about like positronic,
North Central Positronics.
North Central Positronics.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Dogan.
Outpost 16, medium security, verbal entry code required. Welcome to the Dogan.
And he goes up to the door after like determining that this place is probably abandoned, and it asks him for the password. And he had expected a voice, but not one so eerily like that of Blaine the Mono. He almost expected it to drop into a John Wayne drawl and call him Little Trollhand. It made me wonder if like the voices are all based off like the same like voice profile or like AI kind of thing, like
So-
a voice actor maybe.
This made me think of Blaine saying of how much Blaine knew. I just listened to Dark Tower Palaver's episode on the end of the Wastelands, where
Yeah.
they finally meet Blaine and he's being a dick, and Roland has the whole "command me not," like he godless heathen, whatever the fuck he calls him, you know.
Yeah.
But he says it like he has cameras in Lud. Yeah, Lud, right? Yeah, Lud.
Yeah.
But he also talks about how his surveying shit went down in Endworld like 800 years ago. Are these cameras also connected to fucking Blaine?
Oh, that
Like,
would be
does
really
he have this
interesting.
kind of shit all over the place?
Yeah.
Because he says there had been rumors of a gunslinger in the world.
Yeah.
So that's why he like kept himself kind of sane for them to finally meet him. And
Yeah.
it's like, did he have shit in goddamn Magus?
Oh, that would be
Does he have shit everywhere? I mean,
that would be crazy.
is
And
there
it's something that you could work into the show probably. If so.
Oh yeah, and have a fucking camera in the first goddamn episode.
Yeah, and like
there's no.
and maybe even like don't draw attention to it necessarily, but like start off shots in like spots where security cameras would be, and then move the camera down to them like you're.
That'd be great.
That
Have them
was-
enter in a general store like from a security camera, then just after that you're from behind them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Hell yeah.
That give Blaine such a such a high because like the
And then you find out that it's not just Blaine; it's like this whole network that Blaine was just connected to.
yeah
And so there's still somebody else watching these cameras.
that there's still somebody behind the screen somewhere
Yeah.
that might be bigger, better, or worse, or
Yeah.
whatever than Blaine. You know. Yeah.
Um,
So the code is obviously not 19, but it is 99. And what a bad code for a door.
right, like for a fucking like military ass
2 digits?
solution.
That's
Yeah.
as much as we could do as those 2 digits.
Well, really, it's like 15 characters because it's all written out. Right?
Yeah, 99, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, verbal fucking access my ass.
But yeah, like my thoughts on like it having a similar, almost the same voice to Blaine, like Alexa kind of sounds the same. But what if one Alexa gained sentience and then like just started doing goofy voices? And so then you go to another device and it has the same voice, but it doesn't have that sentience. So maybe I was like, that's kind of
Yeah.
like, I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah,
Like they start off with the same voice basically.
Yeah. And so you remember who you picked to play Blaine?
Yeah, I picked Will Sasso.
Dark Tower Plyra picked Mark Hamill. Which
Hamill would be great, yeah.
amazing. I think
Yeah.
he's a good Jesus Christ. Yeah. I need fucking Flanagan to figure this out, get it rolling, because I'm gonna cough up a lung and die here soon. So
Yeah, so he's in there looking around. There's there's like a skeleton in one of the chairs. Like, so this place was abandoned for a while apparently because somebody died here.
we find out later that Benny the Elder has been here and makes reports
Yeah.
routinely. Why don't you clean up the skeleton?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like I like its vibes, like homie
But-
chilling.
Also, like we find out that new cameras have been added.
Yes, in the church, right?
Yeah, because the church was only built like 1 or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And there are cameras inside of there.
Fucking Benny.
Yeah.
Bitch. You're a grown ass man. You going by Benny? Like, I
No.
think I'm graduating to Ben.
Yeah,
You know.
or maybe he's even Benjamin.
Benjamin. I go by Jam. Just
You're
go
right.
by Jam.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Jammin.
Jamming.
That's what I be doing.
Here comes jamming, just bopping along. uh,
Are you looking at bands? No, I just have the sickest Spotify playlists.
yeah, just the fucking dopest playlist you'll ever see. Nobody could recreate it.
Yeah. I curate the best bops. My name's Jammin'. That's what I'm doing.
Oh man.
But yeah, then they show up there, and Jake's like, "Oh fuck, I gotta hide."
Yeah, it's Andy and Betty the Elder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As they're coming up though, like the cactuses like get kind of agitated at them, and I think Andy just like smacks one and like it breaks in half.
Yeah, he just fucking
He
like
backhands
karate
it.
chops that
Yeah.
shit, and there it goes.
Yeah.
Badass.
Yeah.
And it actually alerts Benny to something. I guess we can talk about later.
Yeah, because he's like, "Why are these already so agitated? Has
Yeah.
something been through here?"
Yeah.
And Andy's like, "Shut the hell up! It's probably just a cat, like one of the rock cats."
And I forget that Andy's like 8-9 foot tall.
Yeah.
We forget that, I think. At least I do. I don't ever think about how big this fucking thing is.
Yeah, it doesn't really bring that up a lot, like just how tall it is.
And it needs to get a character rework from anything that's been drawn or done so far, because I don't like the way it looks. I think that if it's going to be on screen, like you have full freedom here. He could still be huge, but like just having his torso be like a fucking cylinder is not going to work for me.
Yeah.
You know, you need to make him look a little bit cooler than this.
I keep imagining him as like almost like this robot character that you can get in as part of your party in this old PS2 game called Rogue Galaxy.
Okay.
I'll have to show it to you because it's not a very. Here, let me just pull it up. It's not a very popular game.
And if I was still editing these videos in post production, the picture would go right here, but I'm not because it's live, so there's nothing there. You can imagine it though.
Yeah.
Maybe hold up your screen. No, I'm kidding. What the fuck is going on?
God damn, dude, you're dying. Yeah. So I kind of imagine him like this guy.
That's about what I'm imagining. He has
Um,
like the face of Iron Giant, but he's very long and lanky.
If you can see that,
Yeah.
probably not.
Probably not.
But look up Steve Rogue Galaxy.
Yeah.
And
Kind of. Yeah. I like.
This
I like
fucking robot's name is Steve.
Steve. Yeah. Hell yeah. I like the forearms have some weight to him.
Yeah.
That seems to always give it. Jesus Christ. And robots don't need forearms.
No, he's only got two.
That's good. That was
No, it
good.
wasn't. No, it wasn't.
That was good. No, that was good. That was good.
Yeah, so he runs into like the living space basically of this
Yeah.
little barracks, and
They go through like 3 different places he could hide, and I was like, okay, like get to the
Yeah.
fucking point, King.
on another pillow lay a jawbone, prodding a ghostly, ghastly memory from the back of the boy's mind. Once in a world where he had died, the gunslinger had found a bone like that and used it.
In a world.
In a world.
In a world where you will die. But that's not this world. I'm still under the. If there wasn't the wastelands, if there wasn't a like chasm of fucking hell that they could fall into, they could have walked here. That's my impression of this world.
Yeah.
Outworld, midworld, wherever you want to say. Is that where Roland's from? Was the Outer Rim, right? Outer Baronies? No,
Sounds right.
something like that. Gilead is supposedly out there, and they're heading towards the middle. That's not a different world, right? Are they still on a planet? This planet all?
It's weird. Like
Yeah.
how like it kind of all bleeds together. 'Cause they also walked to Topeka.
Are we a part of the flat midworld society?
Oh man.
That's what the Dark Tower is the edge that they're trying to keep us from.
Fucking NASA lying to us and shit.
Oh God, what just so stupid. People are so dumb. We won't talk about it though. I don't know where we were going. Here we are.
Oh, and then like at one point he kind of like grabs his Ruger and he is like prepared to kill both Andy and Benny if he has to.
Him not flipping the safety off pissed me off.
Yeah.
I wrote, don't put your thumb on the safety. Have that bitch ready.
Yeah. And he's even like thinking about like weak points on Andy, thinking about like his glass eyes would probably be a good spot to shoot.
Yeah, he's like, oh, if I blind that thing.
Yeah, if I blind it, or maybe like maybe they built it like a human, and so the important bits are behind the eyes.
Yeah. I'm building a robot. I'm not putting anything important in the head.
No, you put the camera there. That's it.
Yeah.
And you put backup cameras at other spots that aren't as obvious.
Not like reverse cameras. Like,
No, he doesn't get a backup one. No.
like, why does he need eyes in his ass? Like, what are we talking about here? You had me
I
for a
did mean
second.
like an like auxiliary cameras, like you know,
Extra
you blow,
cameras,
yeah,
yes.
like you blow
Yeah.
up his head and he's still got like a little like one in his chest or something.
Yes,
Yeah.
but no, not reverse cameras.
Yeah.
Like,
Beep beep.
oh, this fucking episode's going off the rails.
And then Andy kind of gives like, or not Andy, Benny kind of gives his like, his update to whoever his, you know, person that he's contacting is. Tells them kind of more about like what the Quartet's been up to.
Yeah.
He kind of gives them, tells them like they know about them having gone up to the mountain today with some sort of bag, but they don't know what's in it.
Yeah.
They're kind of thinking like maybe he went up there to like make maps from like a very high vantage point. I think Benny like at one point suggests, and the whole time Andy has like put down his act.
Yeah.
Like he's not pretending to be like this meek kind of dumb robot anymore. He's like very cold, very annoyed, very mad.
He kind of, it feels like a, whoa, that was a weird voice. It feels like he's, like, you know, in the Three Stooges, never, I don't know who the fucking main one is, but like how he's an idiot, but he's like, he'll slap around the other ones.
Yeah.
That kind of feels like how Andy became. That he's, oh God, there's like a Looney Tunes character of just like the short, you know, asshole one that bosses around the big one. I think they even reference him in the Hitler Brothers, you know, but I think they reference George and Lenny from goddamn,
Yeah, they reference
Must
George
have
Wendy for them.
whatever it is, where they're, I don't know, it was weird to see the act down. I mean, just
Yeah.
a little bit where he's like, I will not take this from you. I will take it from everybody else. I will sing them their fucking songs. I will do whatever. I will take all this shit, but not from you.
Yeah, but you know I am not to be fucked with.
Yeah.
And once nobody is around to see, I will fuck with you back harder.
Yeah.
And like at one point he like grabs his arm and like pinches a nerve or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just put a little bit of pressure on one little nerve.
Yeah. To do real damage, I would have had to do this exact amount of pressure. It's like, damn.
Think what I could do if I actually wanted to hurt you.
Yeah.
And like, but he's also like, you kind of get like the impression that he is in on the joke, that he's playing the fool, and like he kind of enjoys it a little bit, but then also enjoys fucking with Benny here, because he's like no, you don't get to treat me like a fool. Everybody else can, but you don't get to. You're my precious little boy.
He's kind of like disgusted by Benny too.
Yeah.
I know you're a fucking traitor. Like I don't like you're my traitor.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna respect you. You sold your soul for your son and some fucking specs, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, like you're working for me, but that doesn't mean you're not a piece of shit.
Yeah. Like we both have bad goals, but like it worked on you.
Yeah.
You know? Like, oh, you're the idiot that I was able to use. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Benny or fucking what's his name?
Andy.
Andy's number DNF 44821 V63 is 19 and 9 if you add it up.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
I just did it right here. I was like, I've never done it, but yep, 19 and 9.
Of course
and
it is. Yeah.
him being a messenger robot, and that message is to Algo Santo is kind of funny to me. Like, oh, we should have known. Like, no, you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. Who would have? I mean, I guess you could have, but he does. He sends messages. You ask him to do something, he'll fucking send it to you for you. You know.
And then eventually they leave. Andy also gives a report that is basically just dial-up noises, but Jake doesn't know what those are yet.
Yeah.
Because he hadn't been around. There's also a passage where they say that Jake left shortly before getting to see Star Wars, and I was like, ah, poor soul.
A month before it came out.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
Because like in the narration, King is like, oh, he was kind of like C-3PO, and then in parentheses, which Jake never got to see because he left a month before that came out. I was like, poor bastard.
Did he have to leave a month before it came out though? You know, did he have to? Like, couldn't you have wrote that differently, King?
Yeah.
I guess it had to be finals, so it's probably May, and if fucking, you know. That's
But then as he's wait, like they leave, and he's like, okay, now I need to get the hell out of here. But he waits a little bit so they can get far enough away. And to pass the time, he looked at various control panels, many of which had the Lamerck Industries name on them. Yet he also saw the familiar GE and IBM logos, plus one he didn't know, Microsoft. All these latter gadgets were stamped Made in USA. The Lamerck products bore no such mark. It's just more weird bleeding of the worlds together.
And just going to show us that Microsoft is evil.
Yeah.
Same with GM.
Yeah.
And G. Evil. Tracks.
Bill Gates wants to kidnap our babies.
He wants to turn
Turn
our
them into
kids
psychics.
transgender and give them 5G.
Turn them into giant idiots.
Oh. That's been the plan. The 5G. That's what. There it is. COVID vaccines. I'll probably go viral now. I said all those things.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how the algorithm works.
Yeah.
You just mention stupid shit like that, and you're automatically fucking like, oh my god, on everybody's Facebook page. Facebook. Stay on Facebook. It's gross.
And then he kind of like, wanders back to the Slightman's house and realizes like, if Benny the Younger finds out about his dad, like it's not going to hurt him. It's not going to upset him. It's going to destroy his fucking world.
Yeah.
So now he's like, I need to stop this guy, but it's really, really going to fuck up my friend. And so he's kind of having like that inner battle.
Yeah. That's part of being an adult, being a gunslinger, is you gotta do sucky shit.
Yeah. Part of being the protagonist.
Yeah. So, the way this subchapter was done, I wouldn't mind a whole book from Jake's perspective.
Yeah. It was fun.
Adventure with Jake and Noy. Like, I'm not gonna tell you whether or not both of them make it to the Dark Tower towards the end of this book, whatever. Say they do. They still have things to take care of. I would read a series of Jake and Noy
Yeah.
if King decided to write it. You know, I think it'd be a fun one. Even in Midworld, in our world, in whatever, it could be a fucking door time. It could be goddamn Scott Bakula in what is it? Oh no, what's the name of the show? Fuck. Oh no.
Quantum Leap?
Yes.
Yeah.
Be great. Just like going to different realities, solving shit with this fucking bumbler. Be amazing.
Yeah. I was thinking kind of like, almost like Ben 10, where like,
Okay.
Ben is just going around the country with his grandpa in the van.
Yeah.
And getting into hijinks the whole time.
Yeah.
Instead of the grandpa, it's Roland, and and they're not in a van because they don't have vans, but they're just walking around, and Jake just keeps getting into nonsense.
Oh yeah. Cool.
And instead of the Omnitrix, he just has a fucking gun.
Just. Like, oh no! I have to bow bow bow. It's all taken
You can't necessarily be on Cartoon Network anymore, but
Yeah, I mean, Samurai Jackson.
It was on a Toonami. It was a little slightly more mature Cartoon Network.
You're right. A little button it up, right?
Yeah. And eventually it was on Adult Swim when it came back.
Yeah, it was Adult Swim, wasn't it?
I haven't watched any of the Adult Swim Samurai Jack. I wonder if it was good.
Is it a different show?
Well, it came back like a couple years ago to finish.
Oh, yeah. Did it finish the story?
It was supposed to. I don't know if it got to or not, but
That was such a strange show.
yeah.
I was like, did you watch many Cartoon Network shows?
Oh yeah, all the time.
What were like? What's the top 5? Just Cartoon Network.
Whoa, oh god. Samurai Jack was definitely up there.
Okay.
This is a little bit of an oddball pick, but Megas XLR. Do you remember that one?
No.
Dude, it was like these guys found a giant robot, but it didn't have like the head, like which would be where the cockpit would be.
Yeah.
So they put like these fucking idiots like rigged up a muscle car for the head.
I remember this show.
Yeah,
now.
dude.
Okay. Okay.
I don't remember if it was any good or not, but I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
And then Powerpuff Girls, obviously, for sure.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Who was the best? Rank Powerpuff Girls.
Buttercup, Bubbles, Blossom.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. Green, blue, red.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Another strictly Cartoon Network shows.
I'll give you two of mine.
Yeah.
Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Oh yeah, Ed,
Curtis
Ed, and Eddie.
Cowardly Dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
Two of my absolute. I mean, Ed and Eddie is not great to rewatch. It's very much early 2000s child humor,
Yeah.
but it was fucking great as a kid.
Oh yeah, at the time.
Yeah, it was amazing. I loved it. Other like Cartoon Network shows I watched.
And then Dexter's Lab has got to be in there.
Yes.
That was one of my favorites.
Yes, amazing show, and like cultural ramifications. Really, like I think almost every kid liked Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah.
I say laboratory, and I want to say laboratory. You know?
Get out of my laboratory.
Oh yeah. Yeah, was Kids Next Door on?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
watched Kids Next Door. Oh, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So Kids Next Door, they had like the naming scheme for all their like tools and weapons, where it was like just a word, and then like they made an acronym out of it.
Yeah.
In our interstitial campaign on Hearts Against Balance, go watch it. We helped out the kids next door, and they found a weapon from Father, and gave it to my character. It was called Goodbye Unwelcome Nuisances.
Goodbye, unwelcome nuisances.
It's just a gun. It's just a gun, and that is my main weapon now.
Hell yeah, it's just a gun.
Just a gun.
What kind of gun? Like in your mind, what kind of gun is this?
Just like probably just like a 9mm.
It's a pistol.
Yeah, just a pistol. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Shall defeat you with the power of friendship and this gun I found.
What's that from?
Some shit poster or TikTok or something. I don't remember.
Oh man. Yeah. So that's Cartoon Network was great.
Yeah.
There was 3 shows that I'd watch with my brothers on Disney Channel. Those 3 shows were, in no particular order, Out of the Box.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Out of the Box.
Great.
That song slaps too.
So good. Another good song one, Bear in the Big Blue House.
Yeah.
Singing to Luna every night was fire.
Yeah.
And I think Roly Poly Oly was on Disney as well.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, those are the 3 I'd watch with my brothers.
Hell yeah.
Before school,
And then Dave the Barbarian was also Disney.
Yeah. I remember whenever Disney used to be live action, basically, and Nickelodeon was the cartoons.
Yeah.
That was the distinction.
And that's still mostly Disney's still a lot more live action than it is cartoons. I think Nickelodeon is too. They both kind of lowered back on the cartoons.
Lame.
Yeah.
Last thing. This is our last tangent. The last thing we'll start. Have you watched any of that 90s show?
I watched half the first episode.
Is it bad?
I only watched half the first episode,
Is
so
it bad enough to turn off?
I think it was I had to go do something, and so I paused it, and I was like, I'll get back to this later, and then I just never did get back to it later.
Well, I've heard that it's Disney kid acting. That's what it feels like. Everything.
Yeah,
Everything is
that's
so, oh, look at this.
that's what it felt like. And then the clips I've seen really just feel like they're being like, hey, Thing, you remember Thing from last show? Remember Thing you liked from last show? Here's Thing. We're not gonna do anything cool with it, but here's Thing.
A show built upon nostalgia. The original one was too. It was 20 years beforehand. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Built upon nostalgia that has no. Okay, you can reference the show. You can reference the 90s. You gotta have interesting characters. And I've seen a lot of people say oh, they're mad because there was minority characters. I'm like, shut the fuck up. That doesn't.
Yeah, that is a dumb criticism.
That is dumb. They're everything.
It can be a bad show and have it's not a bad show because it has minority characters. It's a bad show and it has minority characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's not gonna save a show.
Yeah.
It's not going to ruin a show.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it both ways. I don't I'd like to see more representation of anybody that's not like me because I suck. But yeah, like representation is great. But like with that show, it reminds me. I picked up on. I did not like iCarly. I did not like Sweet Life. I did not like any of these like teen acting. I think Lizzie McGuire was like the last really
Yeah.
like live action show I like watched as a kid. And if that's the kind of acting that is now like, oh god, I hope it doesn't go into like a dog.
Yeah.
I'll be done with it.
Well, and like honestly, it was the same kind of problem that another reason why I didn't really care to go much into it is because like it felt like the Fuller House and Girl Meets World
Yeah.
both also had that level of like bad Disney Channel acting.
Even How I Met Your Father that they're doing with Hilary Duff.
Yeah.
And I've heard it's the same kind of shit.
It's okay.
Is it better? Okay.
Like, I mean, that one I watched most of the first season,
Okay.
and then I got caught up, and then I forgot to keep watching it. But it's not one of those ones where I stopped because it was bad.
Okay.
I just do this thing when something new is coming out.
And
I'll get
honestly,
caught up
like, if
and then
you're trying to,
forget.
like, replicate the humor from How I Met Your Mother, it doesn't work 2023.
Yeah.
It's very much cringe.
Yeah.
Like it's like millennial cringe, and I get them. Like okay,
Yeah.
you know, saying oh epic. Camera, yeah, it's not fucking cool anymore. Like that's not how humor works.
Yeah. But no, like the Girl Meets World and Fuller House, I watched maybe like 4 or 5 episodes of each of those, and it definitely felt like the iCarly, Wizards of Waverly Place type acting, like it's like the Disney Channel teen show.
I will not watch this.
Yeah.
Like, I will not subject myself.
Like,
to
I mean, and like iCarly does have some really funny bits.
Yes,
I would never watch a
there's-
full episode, but
there's things in there that like I have found funny because like even it seemed like whenever you went to college you regressed a couple years. Just I don't know if that happened to everybody, but everybody would like watch Disney Channel and shit.
Yeah.
It was cool again to play Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like I remember getting my Game Boy Color back out. Maybe my advanced. I think it was advanced. But like and like bringing it back to college and being hyped that I was able to bring this back because everybody's playing fucking Pokemon again.
yeah.
Like hell yeah, like let's do this. So, but even then I was like, I've watched episodes of iCarly. It's not good.
Yeah, like 90% of it, no. But like there are some really amazing parts. Like there's some really, really funny bits. And like the older brother
Yes, he's hilarious.
he's one of my favorite characters of any TV show. And I
He's
don't like that
hilarious.
show.
Yeah, his bits I've seen just even like I can't stand what's the fat kid's name?
Gibby.
Okay, I feel like that is like leaned on too much, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
is this actually funny, or are we just leaning on a bit that has been beat into the fucking ground so long? But so Dark Tower.
Yeah.
You come for the Dark Tower, you stay. It's like getting a toy in your cereal box, you know? Like, I'm going to get some Captain Crunch, but at the bottom, I might get, like, nuclear launch codes.
Damn, I was thinking like a decoder ring.
What are nuclear launch codes, but, like, the ultimate decoder ring?
That's what you use the decoder ring for, so you can actually figure.
You gotta buy 2 boxes in order to launch the nukes, alright?
Your friend gets the code, you get the ring. You got to work together. It's teamwork.
It builds a lasting bond. It will last at least 45 seconds until the bomb hits.
Yeah. It's a lasting bond that creates a blasting bomb.
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
Bonds. We're gonna go bond. I was like thinking like science, like what would be like a molecular bond? I don't know. But yeah, I like the blasting bomb because it
Yeah.
rhymes.
Yeah,
It's important because it rhymes. Isn't
Yeah.
that one?
It's like poetry, right?
Oh, I'm bringing that up at work. We'll talk off camera. Oh my god, it's like poetry. It rhymes. It's
Yeah.
amazing. So I kind of tracked out where we're gonna read to. It will be up until chapter 7. So we will only be reading 4, 5, and 6.
4, 5, and 6. All right.
Which is relatively short. If you want to stick to the one, that eat almonds and eats. My stroke him, haven't I? Mind business media over that.
Noodle.